massive mess. This is our lounge. It's not the venue.
Oh, yeah.
We have to clean it ourselves.
Yeah, sorry.
But anyway, we are Sean Kelly.
We are, and you can't come to Komedia at the moment, so we're bringing Comic Boom live to you.
We're in your house.
Yeah, but in a good way.
Nice house, guys. Yeah, in a good way, not in a bad way. Not in a kind of, oh, what are these footsteps? Dirty and muddy in my house. What? Wait, there's blood. Ooh, what's in this cupboard?
Not in that kind of way. No.
In a good way.
In a good way, yes. So what is Comic Boom?
Well, thanks for asking, Sure. I will tell you. It is a premiere new comedy night that goes out the last Thursday of every month in Brighton, Komedia.
That is right. And we have got a smorgasbord of acts for you tonight, including a headline act. Who is it?
Stephen Bailey.
Stephen Bailey, which reminds us of our favourite drink.
Ginger beer!
Because he's ginger.
Love ginger beer.
Love ginger beer.
Oh,
so don't forget that it is an 18+ gig. So if you are under 18, get the hell out of here.
Get out of here. Get out of here. 18 plus what?
Fun.
Equals Comic Boom.
Comic Boom.
That's the formula for the show.
Yeah, and speaking of fun, this month, instead of a joke competition, we have got a caption competition.
Wow, I am excited about that.
Yeah, well, let me tell you about it. I'm going to show you an image, and then you are going to tell us your hilarious captions, and we're going to pick a winner at the end of the show.
Please put them in the live feed.
Put them in the live feed. I'm going to go and get the image.
Okay. Whilst you do that, I'm just going to remind everyone why we're here today.
Love Comic Boom, largely because it's really near my house, so I can walk home afterwards. It's at Komedia, which is one of the best rooms in the country for comedy. You ask any comedian in the country what their favourite gigs to play are, and they'll always say this room at Komedia in Brighton, so that's a big up for it. And also, it just gives new comics an opportunity. When you're, at the point you've been on the open mic circuit a while and you're just looking to make that step up, there's not that many opportunities, but Comic Boom's there as a sort of to bridge that gap between playing the pro clubs, every weekend and the open mic circuit. So it's really important for that.
And if you would like to donate, please go to donate-to-comicboom.co.uk. Oh, it's now time for our caption competition. Why are you dressed like that?
Well, I couldn't find an image, so I am the image.
Right, okay. There we go. So if you could please put in your caption in the live feed for this image. Got it? Okay, great.
Can't wait to see what you send.
Well, it's time for us to get on with the show now, guys. Pour yourself a beer, get yourself some popcorn. It's Joshua May.
I used to play football at this park every Saturday, right? I have no recollection of it, but I do remember Easter Sunday 2005. I saw a pigeon with a lit fag in its mouth. I feel like Easter is a weird holiday, though, isn't it? I've never read the Bible, but I assume there's just a massive section on why the big Tesco has to be closed, but the little ones can stay open. That story about the pigeon smoking a fag is actually real. I said it at a gig one time, and this guy came up to me afterwards. He was like, I really like that bit you've got. It's about the pigeon. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. I just think that's such a great way to build the imagery for the audience. I was like, no, this pigeon's fully barney and a snout, mate. And it was an unbelief rolling. He didn't even have any feet, so I'm like, how the fuck you roll that thing, dude? Who do you think's more mental, seagulls or pigeons? Seagulls, right? Yeah. I feel like seagulls should be higher up on the international threat level scale. Maybe above malaria, but below climate change. Because there's so many of them, and they're all fucking hench. It's like someone's just mass-producing them somewhere, making them lift weights and eat chips until they're strong enough to punch through a deck chair. For those of you wondering, I'm unemployed. I did have a job. I had a contract with them, and I got to the end of the contract, and they were like, "So, you know, what are you saying?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, what are you saying?" And they were like, "I don't know. What are you saying?" And I was like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And they were like, "We want you to leave." But it's hard because I feel like I have employable skills. Like, I'm a critical thinker. Like, I personally don't believe that 1 out of 10 dentists don't like Colgate. And also, I'm just like how they ascertain which dentists do or do not like Colgate. You know what I mean? I like to imagine they sit the guy down the dentistry and go, "What do you think of Colgate?" And the guy's like, "Fuck Colgate!" And then they go to the International Tooth Conference, or where these weird teeth-looking-at people go to, right? And he gets there, and his mate that he's known a very long time is like, "I have to tell you something. I'm actually quite a big fan of Colgate." And the guy's like, "Fuck, how could he do this to me?" But then he remembers, it doesn't matter if you like Colgate or not, the best thing about being a dentist is the friends you make along the way. Has anyone ever been to a conference before? You've been to a conference before? I've never been to one. I just assumed as you got older, you just went to one. I mean, I remember watching films and stuff when I was a kid, and the dad would always be like, "I've got a conference this weekend." You know? I always thought I turned out to be a conference guy, but I actually turned out to be an MDMA guy.
We're back! You know, this is just like a live gig.
It's exactly like it.
Yeah, the next act is running late.
Yeah, but don't worry, because I am gonna film.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go. What are you doing? What is that?
Oh, I'm wasting time.
You just made a mess. I mean, I've already told you, this isn't the venue. This is our house. We have to tidy this.
Oh, sorry.
Let's just do the next act.
It's Esther Manito.
Put a tweet out about how I supported the women getting the right to drive in Saudi Arabia. But one guy wrote to me and he went, "Women shouldn't get the right to drive. They shouldn't get the right to drive because their brains are 1/4 the size of men's. They are the simpler sex." And I wrote back and went, "Simpler? Simpler? I've got a son and a daughter, and when I went to pick my kids up from school this afternoon, my daughter came out carrying her books looking normal, my son came out, no books, one shoe." Any of you with sons know it. All of you with sons know it. You know it. You know. You go to the school gates, you see all the girls lying neatly there, the boys are there, headbutt on a wall, knobs out, and you're like, "Yeah, there they are." Superior sex, look at them go. There we go, fucking hell. Absolutely blinding. He's very reserved, my husband. He gets annoyed at how much I ran on stage, but he's very reserved, you see. He's very reserved. He's English, but he's very, very English middle class. I tell you how middle class he is. We've been married 15 years, had 2 kids, yet he still signs my birthday cards. Kind regards, Neil. He's so reserved, though. He never bites back. When we're having an argument, I'm there, laying into him, and he doesn't say anything. He's that reserved. He's so he holds it all in. But then he goes and gets in the car, right, drives to the local shops, puts the sat-nav on, and every time she's like, "Turn right here," he's like, "I know, you cunt!" Just wish he'd let it go. I wish he'd let it go. I took him back to Lebanon, though, to meet my family. I did. I took him round. And this is when I noticed there are a lot of cultural differences in communication, even when you speak in the same language. Because we went round to my aunt's house, and my aunt turned round to my husband, and she was like, "Would you like a cup of coffee?" And he replied how every single one of us English people reply to that question. "Only if you're making one. Don't go to any trouble. I don't want to put you out. Don't go out of your way on my behalf." My aunt turned around, she was like, "What does he want?" We're in Lebanon for 1 month with all my relatives, too scared to ask him a question like, "Does he want food?" No. Just put the plate, don't make eye contact, walk away. Right? I was in Times Square and in New York, right? And they've got these massive billboards. And one of the billboards, I kid you not, has the president of Iran's head on it, right? And it just says at the top, "We do not welcome terrorists." And the British in me was like, that's a bit much, isn't it? It's a bit full on. And then I started to think, what's the British equivalent we've got as an anti-terror statement? What's our big "you won't fuck with us"? What's our big "you won't mess with us, we're united"? What's our big "fuck you, ISIS"? If you see or hear anything suspicious on the train, please alert a member of staff. See it, say it, sorted.
Read all about it! Special guest!
Oh, who is it?
Mark Thomas!
Oh, I'll take one.
Cool, blimey!
Hello, my darlings. I'm going to tell you a story that took place a little while ago. So long ago, in fact, the post office was actually a nationalised industry, and it was before email. Once upon a time, there was a politician called Michael Heseltine, who was essentially deputy leader of the Tory party. He ran what is BUR, the business something or other, or the Department of Trade and Industry, or Lord Noble Overlord of whatever it was, to do with industry. And he decided he would attempt to privatise the post office by putting out junk mail to tender. Many of us were very worried about this, as you can imagine, because we thought it might undermine the standard price of a stamp. So we organised a campaign. I got hold of Michael Heseltine's home address, and what I did was I talked to people and asked them to take part in this. Every gig I did, I used to read out his home address, and I used to say to people, use junk mail against him, use junk mail to fight him. So get any kind of thing in a paper or a magazine that says, please, do you want more information about this product? Fill it in his name and let me know how you've been getting on. And people joined in, and they joined in very, very big. And what happened was, people were sending me examples of what they had sent him. He got free Durex, he got free lube, he got Book of the Month Club, he got records, he got... somebody ordered him a garden hedge trimmer on 10-day trial. And what people did was, that little bit that says, if you don't want us to pass on your information, please tick here. We just left it out. So he would end up in mailing lists in Japan, in Russia. He would get mailing lists from all over Africa and from America. And it just starts generating more and more mail. And eventually, the kind of... What happened was, a couple of mates of mine sort of said that he had found out. He had found out, and it kind of drove... It sort of went to death, really. What was rather sweet, though, was a few years later, a friend of mine bumped into someone she used to know who now works for the Tory party. And she mentioned that she knew me, and he went, And he went, why are you going, He said, because I used to work with Michael Heseltine. And he told her the story of how we had organised this junk mail. And she said, oh, that's quite funny. He said, no, it's not funny. Imagine, if you will, day one, the birds are tweeting. Michael is in his mansion. The sun shines down, and in the distance, Postman Pat's van is heard chugging towards the ancestral home. On the first day that we hit him big, 3 bags of mail, and in the middle was his gas bill.
Okay, guys, it looks like we're ready for a joke. And here it comes. A man walks into a bar, right? And there was a horse in there. And the horse turns around to the... What are you doing? What are you doing with your kid?
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I do want you to clean that up, but now's not the time.
I'm really sorry.
Right, we'll do it in the next act. It's Christian Jegard.
Hello there, shopping delivery.
Oh, brilliant, thank you.
Sure, mate, no worries. Listen, there's some substitutions.
Okay, yep.
Instead of a red pepper, you have a green pepper.
All right, that's fine.
Instead of mature cheddar, you have mild. Instead of semi-skimmed milk, you have sanitary towels. Instead of pilau rice,
Sorry, just to...
Yeah, go on.
Go back a second. Did you say sanitary towels?
Yeah, pack of 12.
And that's instead of milk.
Really can't help with the substitutions, mate.
No, I get it, that's fine.
I mean, it's a difficult time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, no worries.
Instead of hot chocolate, you have Bovril. Instead of tea bags, you have bin bags. Instead of one packet fresh mint leaves, you have a mint arrow, kind of the same thing.
Not really.
It's the same. Instead of dishcloths, you have scouring pads. Instead of toilet paper, you have scouring pads.
What's your name?
Mark.
Mark, can you see where that last one would be a problem?
Instead of soluble paracetamol, you have vodka. Instead of Nurofen batch.
Back patch. Yeah, it's to relieve back pain.
Yeah, instead of that, you have cigars.
Lovely. Can I just ask something here? How many more substitutions are there going to be?
There's just one more, I think. Oh no, actually, there's lots.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots more substitutions.
Wow, well, that is an honest answer.
Instead of English muffins, you have Hungarian muffins. Instead of Worcestershire sauce, you have Romford sauce. Instead of toothpaste, you have crab paste. Instead of all-purpose flour, you have no-purpose flour. And instead of vegan lasagna, you have something called beef. And that's all in caps.
Right.
So yeah, sorry I was late. I went to the wrong building.
That's okay.
But it's with you now, that's the main thing.
Sure.
There's more substitutions.
Yeah, I thought there might be.
Instead of the Richard Attenborough autobiography, Entirely Up to You, you have the Shane Ritchie autobiography, From Rags to Ritchie.
Okay, well, that's a shame. But I guess, in a way, that kind of solves the toilet roll thing.
Again, I don't have anything to do with the substitutions.
I realise that.
You know, I just deliver it and tell you about them.
You aren't really doing that.
Instead of salmon, you have gammon. Instead of rice, you have ice and a fish slice. Twice. And instead of a Mother's Day card, black pudding.
Well, this has been fun.
We did have to substitute some of the substitutions.
Fantastic.
Instead of mild cheddar, you have scouring pads. Instead of cigars, you have birthday candles. Instead of black pudding, you have scouring pads.
Mark.
And instead of vodka, you have a copy of Home Alone on Blu-ray. But then that had to be substituted for Home Alone 3.
It's not as good, is it?
It is the weakest.
Mark, I'm going to be honest with you.
Don't worry, my friend, that's the last of it.
Okay, well...
Oh, hang on, there's another bag.
Mark!
Okay, there's some substitutions.
Christian J.
Okay, I think it's time to take a look at the captions you've been sending in. But before we do, let's remind you what the image was.
Gay.
Got it?
Okay, so the
Yay.
captions we have had in. Whoa, what have we had? We've got, at least a handful. We've got a framed picture of the craziest buskers ever.
You know what they say, a leopard can always change its head.
Yeah, that's
Good
really
one.
That is good.
I like
That
it.
is a known fact with leopards.
It is.
They have a quick release head. Mark Owen was not impressed with the new member of Take That. Now, am I Mark Owen in that? Because Mark Owen's a good looking guy. I think I'll take that. Thanks very much. Thanks very much.
What else? Let's see.
Esther Manito, she's brilliant. Yeah, good caption. Like that one.
I need a mint arrow and a vodka now. Don't think that was for us. I'm not sure about this Noah and the Whale cover band.
Oh, yeah. Nice answers, guys. Keep them coming. You gotta
Keep them coming. Yes, we will close the competition when the headline act comes on. So keep them coming in up until that point, and we'll announce the winner at the end of the show.
We got our next act.
Our next act, it's Sikisa.
I'm not even bloody that old. I'm 32 years old and I'm living my best life, as you can tell. Like, my mum is very desperate for me to have kids because I'm over the age of 30. Like, she keeps coming out with this word that's pissing me off. She keeps going to me, Sikisa, you need to start courting. Courting, people, courting. Who uses this word anymore? I'm like, Mum, no one uses this word anymore because, number one, we're not in a Jane Austen novel. And if we was, I wouldn't be in it, okay? That's not how it works, yeah? That's how we're serving someone. That's not how it fucking works, yeah? I don't even know, like, my I realised that my mum is not the worst one in my family. It's my 9-year-old cousin. Now, my 9-year-old cousin is absolutely adorable. I love her to death. But she's growing up in a very different world that I grew up in, because my cousin thinks she's a diva. Like, she's growing up in a world where there's Beyonce, there's grime music, there's vegans. She's got so much sass, and I don't know where she gets it from. But she's growing up she's growing up in a very, very different world. And we was at one particular family wedding, and she kept going to me, why don't you have a boyfriend? You're over the age of 30. You should be married by now. You should be walking down the aisle. What's wrong with you? And I was like, you're 9 years old. Where's your boyfriend? Why are you coming at me for? What's going on? What's the beef, yeah? And it was like 10:30 at night, and I had maybe like 8 or 9 bottles of Prosecco. So, you know, living my best life, yeah? And she kept going round in a circle going, you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have a boyfriend. So I was like, you know what, I know how to handle you, I know how to handle you. So I was just like, you don't know your daddy, you don't know your daddy, fucker. Teach them when they're young, fucker. You're nice, I like you lot. Why? She don't know why I'm single. Like, I actually do know why I'm single. Like, I decided that in 2019 that I was going to be celibate. The reason why I decided I was going to be celibate is because I had my heart broken in 2018. Oh, it's perfectly fine. He's a cunt. Okay, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine because I had very supportive friends through this heartbreak situation, because my supportive friends would tell me generic things such as, oh, you can, once you love yourself, someone else will love you. You've all heard that crap, right? And I'm like, I love myself 4 times a day. It's perfectly fine, yeah? I want to talk about masturbation since you lot brought it up. Why not, okay? Because I feel like, especially when a woman comes on the stage, talks about masturbation and vaginas, everyone gets a little bit awkward. Like this, apparently. Okay, fine. Because I'm going to say it, why not? It's 2019, I masturbate. Ladies? Yes, queens, yes, queens, yes, queens! Damn right, because I can only love me the way that I love me, and I love myself well, yeah? Because I wake up, look in the mirror, I'm like, ah! You were the shit last night, let's get to work. Yes, damn right. That's why I'm always so happy, okay? That's why I'm always so fucking happy. Well, I don't even know why I'm single. Actually, don't even know why I'm single. I'm very open with who I date. Like, I dated this guy who was really, really posh. I say really, really posh. I met him in Camden in London, like, really, really posh. Like, he didn't know who Beyonce was, thought she was a type of dog. It was really weird. And the first time we had sex, like, his personality completely changed. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. He was coming through the door with a bucket of chicken. Story of my life. Baggy trousers on, fitted cap on. I was like, where are you coming from? He was like, yo, 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 bop to the shop. Golden Wonder, what flavour? Salt and vinegar, cut from my brother. Flex with my sister, 10 BH and a packet of Rizzler. Dash at the shop. Oh, Linda Zender, kick him in the teeth and pay him later, cause got a tick on my new night trainer. I was like, I'm not dating white people again. Not doing that. Not doing that. No. Not doing that. That's a lie. Dick is dick. Okay,
Hey! I tell you what, Curly, I'm just gonna go and get the next act.
What? Hold on. Hold on. She does this all the time. She says she's going to go and get the next act, right? Then she goes away and she dresses up as the next act and then comes back on. She does it all the time, doesn't she, Mrs. Mulberry?
Yes, it's true. She does do that.
Yes, see, Mrs. Mulberry says you do it all the time.
Oh, well, Mrs. Mulberry is a liar and she should learn to keep her goddamn mouth shut.
Whoa, I am sorry, Mrs. Mulberry. I don't know what's going on with you.
Somebody's in a foul mood.
Yeah, sure, isn't it? How are you, Mrs. Mulberry?
Oh, I'm very well, dear. Yes, you?
Yeah, good. You still self-isolating?
Self-isolating, yes, yes. Over 70.
Yeah, well.
Yes, a little boring on my own, I must say. Anyway, I probably shouldn't keep you. I see you're busy.
Yes.
Yes, so bring on the next act, will you?
We'll bring on the next act. Thank you, Mrs. Mulberry. It's Linda Larkin.
Hello, it's Linda, and I'm here with another episode of Top Tips and Other Tips if you're at home and you're wondering what to do. It might be that you feel that you haven't seen your loved ones in quite some time and you're missing a cuddle. All you need to do is just do this. As you can see, It's very realistic, and were someone to come in, they would simply say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were with someone," and they'd go back out. Number 2, you could sing "My Old Man's a Dustman" really loudly and pretend your old man is actually a dustman if you wanted. And number 3, you can always have what I think is quite a nice thing to do, a fine wine tasting evening from home, which is what I've decided we will do today. Unfortunately, I don't have any wine left, but what I do have is some very fine beer. So what we have here, we have got Summer's Dream, we have got Autumn Regret, beer number 2, or we have got number 3. Now let's have a try of number 1. Let's see what that... That's very nice, it's very vibrant, it's very refreshing on the palate and very juicy, tasty, it's lemony and peppery. Tastes a little bit like a chicken korma, and it's got the kind of taste about it that you would look forward to it arriving, just like summer. Let's have a look at number 2. Let's crack that open without hesitation. We've got Autumn Regret. Let's have a little try of Autumn Regret. Now, Autumn Regret, that's very oaky, actually. It's oaky, it's powerful, it's strong, it's musty. It tastes a little bit like a Wednesday. It's the sort of beer that you would come back to time and time again. Right, let's have a look at number 3. Number 3 is and out. Let's give that a little go. Let's have a oh, now that's nice. That is very nice. I think out of the 3.
Linda, is that my beer you're drinking?
No.
Do you get it out of the fridge?
Excuse me, I'm in here with somebody. You're gonna have to go, excuse me. That was close, wasn't it, hey? You see? Up here for thinking. I don't know what the rest of that is, to be honest, but yeah. It's a very good year. It's a very good year.
Take a chance, 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 take a chance.
On these next acts. Here at Komedia, we like to nurture and facilitate new acts. And during this time, it's really important. So enjoy these next short clips.
Books. I like books. Books. I like books. Books. I like books. I like books. Big books and small books, thick books and thin. All of them for me are actual win. I like books. I like books. I like books. Murdoch and Atwood, Conan and Welsh, Huxley and Tarker and everything else. I like books. But not this book. Books.
Amelia, there's no delivery slots. We need the shopping and you need the practice.
But how do you drive a car? I said, how do you drive a car? How do you drive a car? I said, how do you drive a car? What smug British bastard made these keys? All I sees is buttons, please. Buttons, nary a door unlocked. So I knock, knock, knock until the boot goes pop. Stop. A small space considering, but call me Malfoy and watch me Slytherin. Flipping up and tripping up and get into my seat. Gripping on the wheel and the horn goes, how do you drive a car? I said, how do you drive a car? How do you you drive a car? I said, how do you drive a car? Dearie me, I'm a bit unsettled. Are you sure there's always been 3 pedals? Mild terror, it's trial and error. How the hell am I in reverse? Gear stick, pick, quick, slick, flick, go. Me think, no sync, go so slow. Revving, burn the clutch. Nope, still I don't move. Did I touch as such? It was much too much. No, the handbrake's not removed. Sorry, Mum, I'm done with this one. Anyway, who really needs food? How do you drive a car? I said, how do you drive a car? How do you drive a car? I said, how do you drive a car? Out.
I've got a tomcat called Tigger. Tigger is my best friend in the whole world. Tigger's best friend is a cat called Chester. Tigger is a tabby. Chester is a bellend. Chester doesn't know Tigger like me. He doesn't even know Tigger's impression. Tigger's impression is of John Major. No. That was my impression of Tigger doing his impression of John Major. The only impression that Chester does is of the Felix cat. If the Felix cat let himself go. I will win back Tigger's affection. I've started to make him jealous by hanging out with my new best mate, Eddie. It hasn't worked. Tigger's realised Eddie is made of cushions.
Next up, a song.
With Jon Long.
So this is a song about my time at the recycling centre. Because the reason that job exists, you probably wouldn't have that job in Brighton because you're a very green city. And you really don't need people to teach you how to recycle. But in London they do. It's very, very bad at recycling. The stuff we got given was shocking. So bad I had to write a song about it. A song called You Can't Recycle That. Okay. It's a sing-along at the end. How do you feel about sing-alongs? Thank you very much. Okay, be like this man here and just hop on that train. Excellent. With a Whitney Houston top. My spirit animal in the second row there. Thank you, sir. It's weird. It's Whitney Houston, but at first it had the appearance of like a Metallica T-shirt because it's black with the writing. So I was like, oh, is this going to be like Lamb of God? Oh, Whitney Houston. Very good. I like that. I'm going to get some of those made up. I thought it was Sepultura. Okay, all right. Okay. There are certain types of rubbish that don't go in the bin. Materials we can use again that we call recycling, like paper, cardboard, plastic too, glass, and metal tins. But sometimes people get this wrong and they give us other things. So I feel the need to clarify so that we can get things clear about some things you can't recycle that we've received throughout the years. I want you to all bear in mind these are 100% genuinely true examples from London. Are you all bearing that in mind? And don't shoot the messenger. Okay. You can't recycle dead cats. I shouldn't need to say that. And yes, at least 2 or 3 times a year, someone sends us to London. You can't recycle bullets, no, or deactivated hand grenades. They look remarkably similar to non-deactivated hand grenades. Shat myself. Very hard at work. And you can't recycle dildos. No. But seriously, we got lots and lots of those, and we don't know where they've been. By that I mean we know exactly where they've been. So stop sending us dildos. Again, I'm not addressing this room. You're a very intelligent crowd. I know you wouldn't do such a thing. But in the late noughties in Wandsworth, something of an epidemic. I guess people think out of sight, out of mind, but it all has to go somewhere. We know this. And sometimes there are very real-life consequences. This is sadly a true story, and I kind of wish it wasn't. I once had to take a tour group around the recycling centre. And the tour group comprised of 15 women in their 80s. It's a WI group, and was stood at the conveyor belts. We were confronted by a dildo, yes, and I was forced to explain to all of them what a dildo was. And it's a very noisy building, and they were hard of hearing. So I 15 women in their 80s. That was a real event from my lifetime. In hindsight, I think they definitely knew what it was, didn't they? Yeah, of course, they were fucking with me, weren't they? Ah, it took me 4 years to work that out, like a cat with a mouse. Cruel, really. And I don't want to explain to an 80-year-old woman what a dildo is again. Everybody now, why? Seriously, get involved. I don't want to explain. Don't look around, sir. Get involved. To an 8-year-old woman. This is good already. It's starting to build. I like it. What a dildo is again. And just the fellas now. Why? Don't let me down, fellas. Come on. I don't want to explain. Come on, Whitney Houston. Get involved. To an 8-year-old woman. Nice and bassy. I'm liking it. Like a Welsh choir. What a dildo is again. Ladies, now is your turn. Beautiful. I don't want to explain. It's harmonising going on. I'm loving that. To an 8-year-old woman. Lovely. The swaying is a nice touch. I can row. Thank you. That can stay. What a dildo is. And one last time now, all together. I don't want to explain. Really get into it. I don't want to. To an 8-year-old woman of all people. Can you imagine that happened to me? What a. So stop sending us dildos. Thank you very much, everyone. You've got a hell of a headliner, so enjoy him, and I'll be Jonathan Longathan. See you again sometime. Bye.
There's no show business because of coronavirus. There's no show business at all.
It's a headline act.
Stephen Bailey.
Hello, you all right? Oh, good. Thanks so much for having us. Normally when I do a show, I like to find out my demographic, but I was in Glasgow about 2 months ago, and I went out there and I was like, where are my gays? And this voice at the back of the room just went, dead! So I think I'm safe here, but I'm still not going to fucking ask. Honest to God. And do you know what? I love travelling all over the place. Like, I love coming to Brighton as well, because you're like liberal, vegans, quinoa and all that shit. And you're like one of the better seaside resorts. Like, not like resort, but you're not, I know you're not Butlins, but basically I was recently in Blackpool. And has anyone been? Isn't it awful? It's like Las Vegas meets Chernobyl. It's not good. At least here, you cross the road and you've got Hove. And you fucking love Hove here. So thanks so much for having me. I'll tell you a few things about me. Before I got into all this nonsense, I actually used to work behind the scenes in TV, and I worked on that show on Channel 5 called The Right Stuff. Does anyone remember it? Yeah, so a few of you don't work, that's fine. And for those of you who don't know, The Right Stuff was an early morning, like, news and current affairs show. And Matthew Wright, the host, he used to love everything flamboyant. So it used to get really tedious for me, because going to, like, say, 5 or 6 in the morning. And it just always felt like he was being a bit like, to be honest with you, it felt like he was being a bit like, do something, camp. Do something, camp. So I fucked him. And I didn't. He's straight and married. He fucked me. And you look positively terrified. Why are you looking over there? Every time I speak, I hear your bottom go. And now he's looking me in the eyes. I enjoy you. And you know what? I'm from Manchester, but I live in London now. When I first moved to London, I've been single for 6 years, which is no surprising because I'm only 17. And that was a sentence. And where I live in London, it's a bit shit. I don't know if you know it. I live in Oval in the south. And Londoners? Yeah. Where do you live? Oh, don't whoop that. Crystal Palace is shit. And So where I live is like it's proper downtrodden. Every third shop's like fried chicken, and it just is. And when I was coming back from doing a gig one night, I was walking past the many chicken shops near where I live, and like fried chicken shops, there's a homeless man outside as standard. That's not mean; it's just observational. And I come back this, it is. Well, you know what you lot are like. And I come back this one day, and this homeless guy just goes, "Hey mate, do you have £1.75?" I was like, "That's very specific, homie." I was like, I don't have £1.75 for your crack cocaine, but what I will do, I'll take you inside, we'll get you fed, because the date's a date. And we go inside the chicken shop, and the man behind the counter's having none of it. He's like, nope, I've told you before, I don't want you in here, you're bad for business, out of my shop, out, I don't need this kind of reputation. And the homeless guy was a bit like, nah, mate, nah, he's with me. So what that says, don't go to a chicken shop at 2 o'clock in the morning, your little gold hot pants after you've been gay dancing. Because apparently chicken counter's not a podium. Who would have known? I didn't. And do we have single people in? Yeah, are you happy being single? Sad about it? Which one? Okay, yeah. You don't sound it, bitch. I'm so happy. Because I'm quite happy being single, but last year I was very negative about it. I was waddling all over the place, being like, oh my God, I'm going to die alone. I'm going to die so alone. Whereas this year I'm trying to be a bit more upbeat, so I'm saying I'm going to die independently. It is a choice and it is mine. I am Beyonce. And I think the reason I find it so hard to meet people nowadays is because, right, and if there's any gays in, please don't turn on me. Like, don't go all LGBTQIA 123 Caitlyn Jenner and build a fucking float. But, well, you know what they're like. They're not happy unless they're marching. But, they're not. But the gays have gone very shallow and vacuous on us now, the gays have. They just all want to fuck Thor. They do. All the gays want to do is fuck Thor. They want the perfect tan, the perfect six-pack, the big dick, and I'm just not shallow in that way. I'd rather know what someone earns. And, yeah, because believe it or not, it's not my dreaming life to be here on a Thursday night. And I'm joking. Thanks so much for having us. And see, when I'm in the shower, that's when my Beyonce comes out. Of course it is. And so when I was at my parents' over Christmas, I had a sing-song in the shower. Right, I always let loose, and I don't know why. So I was singing my Beyonce in the shower, like, if I were a boy, even just for a day. My dad walked past and went, I'd be really happy. And but he is cute. Like, he's not homophobic. He's just a bit thick. And my sister's getting married this year, and my dad said to me, when our Jess gets married, Stephen, are you going to go on the stag or the hen do? And I'm like, I'm going to go on both because I'm fucking fun. But, girls, I do prefer the hen do, because you lot have the decency to go abroad, and these lot go to, like, a karaoke place. Do you know what? I don't fucking need it. Don't need him singing Audio Slave. Like, it's just not for me, Joshy. And the fun at the hen parties, doesn't the fun when you go abroad always start at the airport, trying to get your inflatable dick through security? Oh, it does, and they're like, you're going to have to take that down, sir. And I'm like, I can't, it's me real one, it's me real one. They're like, we've just seen you through an x-ray, you fucking wish, get that down. But I am fascinated. What I love about getting the girls on their own is they're a bit more open about talking about you. And I am fascinated about straight sex because, quite frankly, I find it disgusting and unnatural. I don't think it should be taught in schools. But seeing they won't put me on Mock the Week. Do you know what I mean? That is an actual political fucking joke.
Awesome stuff.
Thanks, Stephen.
I am so excited because we get to announce the winner of the caption competition.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
here goes.
You've got an envelope there.
Yeah, it's just like the Oscars.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh, who is it going to be? The winner is... I'm overdrawn.
That's your bank statement.
Oh, that's my bank statement.
Yeah,
Sorry.
don't show them the numbers.
Sorry.
Jesus. Right, I wondered why you had that. Well, look, before we announce the winner, let's just do some notable ones that I noticed. Why couldn't we hear the singer? He was a horse whisperer.
Whoa.
Yeah, because of the horse.
Yeah.
You can take the horse to the aperture, but you can't make it wink, which apparently is better if it's sung. I think it's a George Harrison song, am I right? No, it's a song.
Sorry.
Cool.
Good one.
But the winner, can I have a drum roll, please? The winner is going to be Harriot and the barman said to the guitar, "Why the long neck?" Because a guitar has a neck, and normally you would say, "Why long face to a horse?"
Yeah.
So it's
good one.
Nice one. You are the winner. Well done. Congratulations. Take a lap.
You win a lot of love.
You win a lot of love.
Yeah.
I don't know what you win, but well done. So thanks very much for watching the show. This has been Comic Boom. We would like to thank everyone who was in the show today. We are here the last Thursday of every single month. The next show is June 25th.
June 25th, and you do not want to miss it because we have got the fabulous Lost Voice guy.
Whoa.
He's off the telly!
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
And we've got a lot of delicious up-and-comers as well.
Of course we do.
So thanks to everyone who's in the show. As I said, their names will appear in the credits after this. We've been Short and Curly, your hosts for the night. Please follow us on Twitter @shortandcurly.com or have a look at some of our videos on YouTube. Thanks very much for watching.
See you next time!
Bye-bye.